Hi everybody, it is 5 o'clock here on Martha's Vineyard and it is time for Cooking with Carolina Live. And I'm Carolina from the Oak Bluffs Public Library, and tonight we will be making summer grain salad with tomatoes, basil, corn, and nectarines. And this is a recipe that I actually got via email. I'm signed up for, I think it's called Vineyard Eats, maybe. It's an email from Susie Middleton and I believe the Vineyard Gazette. Maybe it's the Times. One of those. Martha's Vineyard magazine. And they send out recipes every week, usually using like local ingredients and stuff, which is always nice. I don't think most of the things I have are local, unfortunately, because that's so pricey. So, I would like to thank the Library Friends of Oak Bluffs for sponsoring this program yet again. And if you would like, I actually made it so you can make donations to them because they are the main funders of all the library programs that we do, even the virtual ones. So let's get started. I have all my ingredients out, I hope. At least I planned it that way. And we will be using the food processor. That comes out a lot in the summer. Today actually would have been a good day to bake because it is quite a bit, some schmeckle in there. It's much cooler of a day than it has been. But that was not my plan, so we will be making a summer salad. So, we're going to put in a food processor a garlic clove, drop that right in there. Now, this is funny because it calls for 2 tablespoons of toasted sliced almonds. So I got those, toasted sliced almonds, or pine nuts, plus 3 tablespoons for garnish. Okay, but then it says to put the nuts in the food processor, so I don't know what the point of getting the sliced almonds is, other than, I guess, for your garnish. I'm gonna grab some scissors. There we go. It decided to open. Okay, 2 tablespoons. They smell yummy. And these were actually a little hard to find on the island, the sliced almonds. I was finally able to get them at the Down Island Cronigs in the salad aisle at the very end. There are a few funny ingredients in this one that took a little hunting. Okay, there we have the 2 tablespoons of sliced almonds. Now 2/3 cup fresh basil leaves. I know some people say basil, some say basil. I usually say basil. I can't remember which they say up north here. Let me grab a cup measure. All right. So we'll take the leaves from the stem. And don't worry if you have like a little stem on your leaf still, that's okay. It'll all get ground up in there. Just pack this mostly full for 3/4 of a cup, probably one more. Today was raining here in the morning, but then it's been cooler, and the library today was crazy. It was just very, very busy, and everybody wanted their things now. Our phone was ringing off the hook. It did make me miss the library being open a little and having all the people come in on the rainy day because they can't go to the beach. one day we'll be back there doing that, but not anytime soon. Okay, so that's good enough for, well, you know, if we're packing, I'm gonna do a little more. I like basil, so might as well go a little heavy. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we'll put that in there. Okay, now 6 tablespoons olive oil, but not yet. So first we're going to grind this up a little, what we have. All right, get ready. All right, it does not say how fine a grind, but it is combined, so we'll leave it at that. Oh, actually it does. I am wrong. It says process until finely chopped. I think we have a fine chop there. Scraping down the sides of the bowl as necessary. I don't think that's even necessary. Add the olive oil. Okay, so now we have 6 tablespoons. Whew, that's a lot of olive oil. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it has white balsamic vinegar, which I thought was going to be very difficult to find. But I was actually able to find it at Stop and Shop. So it's a honey white balsamic vinegar. I've never had white balsamic vinegar before. So this is very exciting. It smells like balsamic vinegar, only maybe a little lighter. So 2 tablespoons of this. Right, 2 tablespoons. Now, here's a part of the recipe that I wanted to make a little correction on, because it calls for lemon juice at this point, but then later in the recipe it calls for lemon zest. And of course, if you want lemon zest, you should do the zest before you do the juice. So let me grab my zester. And I do love my zester here. It's one of my favorite tools to use. It's just so fun. And zest is so nice. So let's see. Later we are going to need 1 teaspoon freshly grated lemon zest. So we'll put at least that much aside. I think lemon zest really adds a nice touch and a lot of delicious flavor. Always enjoy it in a recipe. We might as well just go ahead and zest the whole lemon. One more. All right, now we have our zest. So now I feel comfortable getting the juice. So for juice, it specifies 2 teaspoons, so not a lot. I'll just use this cup here to squeeze it into. gotta use your muscles. All right, just teaspoons. So we definitely have more than enough here. And those were a little on the light side, so I'll just add a dibble more. Okay, tapenade. So this was another one that was tough to find, and in fact, I did not find an olive tapenade, but I did find a Kalamata spread, which I think is similar, right? A tapenade's like a spread, as far as I know. And a little. I had to dry my hand. Now, for this, 2 teaspoons. Now I have to find another use for the rest of this tapenade. Like a socially distanced tea party. There's 2 teaspoons. And now we actually add the lemon zest, which is 1 teaspoon. We'll go a little mild on that. There we go. And a big pinch of salt. You might notice I've done something with my eyes today. Yes, I'm no good at eye makeup, but I did attempt to line them, and my boy children said I looked like a witch. So I don't know if I'll be doing it again. But they said a pretty witch, so I guess that's something. Okay, there's my big pinch of salt. And you know I'm using my fancy Morton sea salt flakes, my favorite. Okay, now we process again until well combined. Alright. It doesn't take much. Hi Abdelila. Ramadan Mubarak. Sometimes I have friends from Morocco that come to watch me on here. And today in Morocco is Ramadan. Not Ramadan, it's Eid, rather. Eid Mubarak. Which is like the New Year. Alright, I have my favorite scraper. Thanks for donating, Ron. Alrighty, now we are going to stir in sun-dried tomatoes that we are going to finely chop. And for this we will use 1 to 2 tablespoons. You can always save that zest and use it kind of as a garnish too. Probably is about 2 tablespoons. Now I'm not sure why it tells you to finely chop these rather than putting them in the food processor. I guess you don't want them pulverized. You want them left a little chunky. Finely chunky. Okay, looks pretty good. Now, 1 to 2 tablespoons. It looks like we probably have about 2. Might as well put it all in there. And we're going to stir this in, so we'll take this off now. We're done with that. So we're stirring in our sun-dried tomatoes. Looks and smells really good. Have a look. All right. Now we're going to have my towel today. All right, and now we're going to arrange greens around the edge of a platter. So it calls for 2 to 3 cups baby lettuces or other small leafy vegetables. I got a spring mix because that's my typical favorite. And so we'll arrange that around the edge, it says, of our platter. Let's see. Sorry. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Make sure you only use the most attractive leaves, since this is sort of your salad wreath. You want it to look nice. A little bit more. Okay, arranged around the edge of our platter. Now, we're going to grab this. Make a good racket. Now, we're going to put the grains in the mixing bowl. So, by grains, it is talking about 3 cups cooked and cooled. So I cooked this last night. And this is actually wheat berry. It calls for farro, I'm not even sure how to say that. One of those. Short grain brown rice or wheat berries. Now, I love me some wheat berries, so I went with the wheat berries. I think I had more like 2 cups. So it would be nice to know how much of the dry grain you need to make that amount of cooked grain. I just had to guess. And that's what I wound up with. I used a cup and wound up with 2 cups of cooked. So season with a 1/4 teaspoon salt. So that's not much, just a small pinch. Toss gently. Add 3 tablespoons of the dressing. There's our gentle tossing. Okay, 3 tablespoons of the dressing. 1, and of course you don't have to go crazy about doing a perfect measure for this. I'm going with kind of heaping tablespoons. So there is about 3. And now we will toss gently but thoroughly. Luckily, wheat berries are very strong and won't break apart. Rice might crumble a bit more, but these are very durable. Okay, that looks fantastic. Taste, if you say so. And add more lemon juice or salt if necessary. Mmm, yummy. I don't think it needs more lemon juice or salt. I like it. Scatter the grains over the greens. Now, which greens? Okay, so here it's a little confusing because it says arrange the greens around the edges of the large platter. I guess we're supposed to arrange all 2 to 3 cups of the greens. So I'll put a bit more on here. Thought maybe we'd be using the rest of the greens at a later point in time. All right, a tiny bit more. Scatter the grains over the greens. Okay, let's scatter some grains over greens. I'll just use my hand here, because it seems like for scattering grains, we need a little precision. Can't imagine having 3 cups of grains to scatter on grains. You're not really scattering. At this point, you're more like piling it on. Okay, our grains are on our greens. Now it says, spoon the vegetables over the grains. Now we are to combine 1 cup of cherry tomatoes, halved or quartered. Now, I got some cherry tomatoes from my garden. They're the nice little orangey ones. I love them. They're so tasty. But I didn't quite have enough for a cup, so I am filling in the rest with some of the campari tomatoes, which I think I'll half the cherry and quarter the campari. And we can just use the same bowl that we used for the grain, because we are going to put dressing on this part as well. Ooh, I sharpened my knives right before the show and you can totally tell the difference. It's fantastic. What a difference it makes. Butter. And my vegetables on the porch look so much better just from that small amount of rain today. They look so much happier because I always forget to water them, so I really need the rain to help me out. Now we add half a cup of fresh corn kernels. So I have my fresh corn here. by color. We'll husk that and get the silkies. Okay. Now we'll use the knife again, and you can put your corn like this and just gently slice as close to possible to the husk that you can without getting into the husk, because that's tough and not tasty. And of course it likes to go everywhere. Try to contain it. I think this is probably a little more than half a cup, but you might as well use it all. Unless you have some other use for corn at the moment, which I do not. So we'll put all that in there. Now, a half cup seeded, not peeled cucumber, which I have hiding somewhere around here. Somewhere around here. Oh, there it is. All right, half a cup seeded, not peeled cucumber, diced. So that's not a ton. And this is a seedless cucumber, so we don't need to worry about seeding it. So for dicing, I'll just put it into quarters here. Good. Again, maybe a little more than half a cup, but that's all. And now 2 tablespoons of the dressing go in our veggie mixture. So there's 1, 2. Now, half a ripe but firm avocado. Perfect. Also diced. Now you want to gently fold this all together, because you don't want to mush your avocado. All right, that looks pretty good. Spoon the vegetables over the greens. somehow we are missing this here. Where does it say? It's supposed to also have a nectarine. And I'm trying to see where it says to have the nectarine. Cherry tomatoes, corn, cucumbers, 2 tablespoons of dressing. Fold in the avocados. Huh. It does not say to add the avocado, rather the nectarine. So I assume that the nectarine is supposed to be added in with this little mixture here. And we're doing half of it, just like the avocado. I definitely don't want to skip this part because it sounds like it really makes it. Okay, so let's put that in our mixture also. We'll have to let her know that that's missing. So we'll gently mix that in there too. Okay, that looks very good. Now we'll put this in the middle here. Rearranging just to make it look nice. That's not loud. Okay, now it says you can top with a small amount of basil leaves. Okay, we can do that. And if desired, spoon on more of the dressing, which we have a good bit left, so I suppose we might as well. We'll just do another whopping teaspoon in the middle there, tablespoon in the middle. And some basil leaves. And maybe a squirt of lemon juice over the whole thing. And just as well use your leftover lemon zest. Now we will sprinkle with the remaining nuts, so that would be about 3 tablespoons more. Basically 3 handfuls. Generous handfuls. I like the nuts. Okay. And there we have it. We are all done. So here is our summer green salad with tomatoes, basil, corn, and nectarines. It looks very nice. Perfect to bring to a party. And of course we have to do just as, you know what? I'm going to do the taste test later and I'll come back and let y'all know how it is. But it looks so pretty, I don't want to mess it up before I serve it. So, thank you for joining me. I'll be back next week with another episode of Cooking with Carolina Live. And have a great evening. Eid Mubarak.